Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue on from the last few videos that we've done. We've talked about the application process, how you apply for federal jobs. We got into an interview process, and then we talked about the initial offer letter, and we talked about the final offer letter. Now, there was a question that came up. Someone reached out to me and inquired about the general pay service. So we'll continue along that line. Again, welcome to the channel. When you get an opportunity, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to receive additional videos. Today, we're going to get into the general schedule of the pay scale. One thing I need to point out, I don't think most people are aware that the federal government is the largest employer in the United States, covering almost 2 million people. New federal workers are generally unfamiliar with the pay scale and how it actually works. The federal government update the pay scale on an annual basis, right? Keeping up with some of the challenges and overwhelming economics can be a little bit confusing. So I want to try to explain how that actually works. The general pay scale is basically like a classification type system, and is used by the federal government to determine pay for civilian federal employees, administrative workers, professional, technical, and clerical functions. In that regard, someone has to manage that, right? So although the agency may manage your pay and how much you actually get paid, the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, OPM, basically administers the pay grade scale. They oversee human resources policies and general staffing functions. This office calculates the pay raise basically passed by Congress. Each state or region will have different pay and then locality, and that locality and general pay is combined to give you your salary. So for example, let's say you're GS9 in a particular area, and let's say in a high region like Washington, D.C., the same position at the same grade will be at a lower scale for, like, let's say Oklahoma, Kentucky, Tennessee, versus one of those high economical areas, New York, D.C., Pennsylvania, California, some parts of Texas. The locality is a little bit different, so it's adjusted to accommodate. OPM also oversees your retirement annuity and beyond. So once you leave your federal agency and you apply for retirement, from the time you leave the federal service, OPM basically picks up that responsibility, and they're the ones that actually you would need to contact for your general benefits. When the federal government hires a new employee, they're placed generally in step 1 of that scale based on what they qualify for. This is not a general rule. However, it may change depending on your experience or your credentialing, because each position have different criteria, of course. As mentioned in my last video, employees can negotiate some position. This is only applicable to those previous employers where the salaries may be a little bit higher, so they may bring you in at maybe 1 or more steps higher. Keep in mind, like as I mentioned before, this is not a guarantee. That is something that is up to the hiring official, and they really have to evaluate your resume to see if it meets a certain criteria and you qualify, and of course if they have the budget to bring you in. Well, how many pay grades are there? Well, there are approximately 15 pay grades, and each pay grade has steps 1 through 10. You could be assigned specific pay based on a couple of different factors. Number 1 being the difficulty of the task or the job, the responsibility to that job, and qualifications required. And that will be denoted by the agency. For example, if you're going to be in law enforcement, they require that you complete an academy and you have certain certifications, and you get a different pay as a result of that. Well, how are these pay grades made up? Pretty simple. Each pay grade has 10 steps, and you need to complete certain steps in order to advance. You could try a different way, but we'll get into that in a second. Each step is worth about 3% of the employee's salary. The employee can generally advance to the next step through longevity or exceptional performance. Okay. There are waiting periods, however, for each step. If the employee remains at a single step and does absolutely nothing, you can stay in that for 18 years before you complete the advancement from 1 through 10, receiving, of course, exceptional performance ratings. You can get help through advance through other different steps, like if the boss wants to give you some type of incentive because you completed a different project or you didn't outstand in something outside your normal duties. Okay, so step 1 through 3 is automatic. So you come in, let's say, for example, GS-12, step 1, step 2, the following year with a good evaluation, step 3, the same exact thing, good evaluation, you're going to go from step 1 to step 3 automatically. You could go online to OPM Pay Scale 2022, and basically it will tell you what those steps are based on the region. That will change for January 23 and so forth and on beyond. Step 4 through 6, you have to wait 2 years between each step. When you get to step 7 through step 9, that's generally a 3-year waiting period. If you are seeking career progression, basically, you only need to stay 52 weeks at the next lower grade. Let me explain what I mean by 52 weeks. It basically means that whatever grade you come in, let's say you came in as a GS-12, you're automatically going to go to step 2 the following year. However, if you're seeking that higher elevation, you can start applying for the next level, GS-13, within 52 weeks, basically 1 year. Now, there are those that stay stagnant. They stay in their jobs for 30 years in the same location, and that position may not have additional steps, right? So basically what I mean is you come into that position, let's say at GS-9, and there's no room for growth unless you seek promotion or a slot opens up and you get selected from within, you will stay at GS-9 the rest of your career if you stay stagnant. The other issue is people don't like to travel. The federal government has positions all over the world. If you're interested in traveling, you can apply for jobs overseas. It's one of the best kept secrets in the federal government. The other issue here is, other than promotion, is depending on your evaluation, your supervisor can give you what is a ASI, a SQI. So basically, what it comes down to is you get a successful evaluation. If that supervisor has latitude, they can give you a step increase on top of that and bump you to another level. You don't see it often. They generally like to give you like a day off or a week off or a few days off, or they give you some type of incentive and a good evaluation that's above just meeting the standard. You just come to work, you do your follow your job description, complete everything in your individual development plan, you're going to meet standards. Now, if you're one of those people that like to lean forward, basically an outside thinker, and you're looking at improving capabilities, you will shine through. You just got to let them know. There's a lot more to the pay scale. And if you have any specific questions about pay scale, please leave the comments down below. The one thing that I will mention additionally is for 2023, President Biden has proposed a 4.6% raise because of inflation for January 23. Now, that budget has not been signed as of yet and placed in. Normally by October 12th, 13th, we would know pretty much what that is. But because we're on a continued resolution and they kind of kick that can down the road, we're hoping that we'll have some type of resolution before the Christmas holiday. I hope that you found this video informative. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please send any comments my way. I know this is not all inclusive, but I didn't want to make the video no more than 10 minutes. So thanks for visiting the channel. I look forward to your comments. Have a safe and enjoyable day. Thank you.